Check it out. Check it out. Do we have any notifications on hand?
And we are back with another episode of Nothing But Facts. Season 2, Episode 10. I'm Chloe Rogers, grandson of Steve Rogers, son of Aaron Rodgers. And I'm here with the bestest co-host in the whole wide world, Mr. Trill, Bill.
Back in the building, back at it like crack addicts.
Jesus. Imano,
Yo, we here with it.
you good?
Yes, sir.
And we got a special guest. He's from the crib, Broward Boys, Southern Illinois University. Just to put it together, all his stats when he was over there. 5th in school history in rushing yards, 2nd most in the entire conference with 5,431. DJ Davis. How you doing, bro?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Robin, man.
Doing
It's
pretty
Saturday.
good.
I've been grinding out on my team. I'm addicted to that.
Yo, we actually didn't make a point of this in the last episode. First off, it was Chloe's birthday about a week ago, right? So
Yeah,
first
happy
off,
birthday.
late
Happy
birthday
belated
shout out to
birthday.
Chloe, and it was my birthday
Thank
this
you,
week,
man.
man. So it's been a celebratory 2 weeks, even though we've been on the inside.
I've been vibing. I just, bro, 2K. That's all I play is my team.
Yeah,
I got the craziest team.
Warzone too.
Warzone Fire too, but there'd be too many hackers out there. But yeah, just to start it off, bro. Tell the viewers where you're from. Like, where'd you go? Come up with football and things like that.
I'm from South Florida, like you said, Pompano Beach, Florida. Been playing football since I was 5 years old. I have 3 brothers, one sister, and I have an older brother who was always over me playing football. And I kind of seen his success growing up with it, and I kind of wanted to follow his path and take it to the next step as well. Like I just been playing since I was 5 and fell in love with the game. And once I got to my high school level, senior year, I made the choice to go to Southern Illinois because not just the football aspect, basically the environment, the coaches, the players, and the people around the campus. They made it like a family environment, stuff like that. So it's been a great decision for me. I'm graduating in a week, and I'm still receiving calls and stuff like that. So I'm still waiting to see if I can get an opportunity with the NFL. And I also been talking to some teams from the CFL as well. So I'm just patiently waiting on that.
So you would say ultimately your goal is to play football at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Since I was 5, that's been my goal.
That's lit. Since that young age, you had it in you. Like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
there. As soon as I
Uh-huh.
followed you, I saw that highlight tape. You just be running through people for no reason.
Yeah.
Get off me. Stay off me.
You got to,
Like
man.
the
You got
Madden
to.
badges. You just got them shits. You be like, yep, stiff arm. Break off.
Most definitely. Hmm.
What have you found to be like the most challenging part of the process, like so far?
Uh, Probably just like just waiting on your time. I would say, because when I say I knew I was what I was gonna do at 5 years old, it don't mean I was, good at 5 years old. You feel me? It always took a process, the hard work and faith, like to get better each and every year and stuff like that. And as well as high school and college. I ain't start right off the bat when I got to college. When I was a freshman, I played special teams and I was on offense here and there. And honestly, just trusting the process. As the years came by, my role improved each and every year. And then I started my junior year and started my senior year as well. And so honestly, just trusting the process, honestly, and just knowing that the game is bigger than you. So just doing everything that you can do to get on the field and do what you got to do.
I think that's pretty cool from a running back's perspective because, like, although you're the fastest person pretty much on the field, like, or at least people expect you to be, like, the whole thing
Mhm.
about a running back is I think their biggest tool for a running back is, like, their vision. Like, what can they see, like, moving forward rather than, like, how
Oh
quick
yeah,
can they move. So I think
absolutely.
that kind of, like, plays a role in, like, what you're trying to say as far as the process goes is that, like, you're trying to figure out, like, all right, where's my lane? Where's my tunnel? Where can I, like,
Uh huh.
squeeze through and make my moment happen?
You gotta be patient. You find them holes
Absolutely. And
easily.
then like just going from high school to college, like you said, just learning that, the play is totally different from high school to college. It's kind of the same concept, but you have to be more in depth in your playbook and in the plays that's going on. So you got to know who's blocking who. Okay, who am I reading? My cutback might be here and there. So it's definitely a more more technical to it, to the game and stuff like that when you go up on the level.
It becomes more strategic than athletic.
Absolutely,
For
most
sure.
definitely,
It's like a chess match.
most
That's what they
definitely,
say.
most definitely.
You got anything you want to ask, Will?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, going back to your days in college, I was just,
Mm.
is there anything that stands out that people aren't able to see that you can kind of shed some light on that student athletes, whether football or basketball, have to go through in the everyday?
Honestly, I don't think many people do see it. You know, all they see is us with the helmets on and running touchdowns and stuff like that. You know, talking to a few people back at school, like some classmates and stuff, they don't even know who you are unless you feel me, unless you tell them your name and stuff like that. So I don't think they like I want to shine the light on the hard work that's behind it. You know, the study hall, the waking up early for the workouts, the lifting, the film and stuff like that. And then as well as we like my school, we played a big part in the community. You know, we took pride in that. We was like I want to say we were like number 2 or number 3 in the nation in community service hours and stuff like that. So it's not just what we're doing on the field. We also want to shed our light on what we're doing off the field.
100. That's how bro. That's how an athlete should be, in my opinion. Just like they're that role model. Role model, excuse me. You're someone you look up to at the end of the day. So you got to set an example, especially when you're
Most definitely.
like you're leading the team. Basically, you're not even like leading the school as a
Mm-hmm.
as a culture.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
And
man.
it comes with the accountability, especially like when you come to junior and seniors and stuff like that. Accountability to represent the program on and off the field. That's a big thing as well.
What was it like for you to make the transition from high school to college? Because you were talking about like how it was a little bit different for you to make that transition, and then how do you feel like you translate making that transition initially from high school to college to making the attempt to go from college to pro?
Uh, I want to say the biggest adjustment, whatever I had to get used to was probably time management. You know, being a scholar athlete. In high school, you know, you're gonna have homework and stuff like that, but college level, it was a little more work than usual, and you had a little more responsibility as well, and you had a little more leeway also. You know, just being in the dorms and stuff like that, and having study hall, and you can go to the cave whenever you want and stuff. You know, you have to manage your time also. So probably my freshman year, my first semester there was probably the toughest time that I had to get used to time management. You know, I was just so used to like, okay, everything just being scheduled and laid out for me. Okay, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna eat, go to school, be to school for about 9 hours a day, go to practice, come home, do homework and stuff like that. But with college, you know, you get wake up, you got breakfast or whatever like that. Then you may have a class today or you may not. You know, it just and then it depends on what you do with your time throughout the day and stuff and for
It's time
practice.
management at the end of the day, especially when you're going somewhere where you're leaving home basically.
Yeah,
You're trying to become an athlete and you're trying to like you're growing up at the same time.
Yeah,
Like
you're becoming your
yeah,
own
most
man at the
definitely,
same
yeah,
time
you
as
got to.
trying to
And you're
find
worrying
your path.
about
most
you guys go to school. I went through college. Those classes are annoying. They're not even hard. They're just like, bro, so much work
yeah,
for no reason.
And you're in a whole nother state, so it's like that,
It's
that
like you really
security
can't.
source is not even there as far as like your family
yeah,
goes and friends and all that.
I was just
most
gonna
definitely.
touch on the simple question of being a Florida boy going up to Southern Illinois. It's like, how did you adjust to that cold weather?
Yeah,
And
the
that
windy
was
city.
dang.
I went to
That's
Chicago once. That was like 32. Yo,
I ain't
it's
gonna
too
lie, that's
cold.
tough too. And to this day, after spending 4 years up there, I'm still not used to the cold. I don't think I'm ever get used to the cold. Just being from South Florida, but I honestly think it's just a mental thing, especially when you're on the field and you have to play in that type of weather and environment and stuff like that. It's just a mental thing, you know. And then the running backs, it was even worse. We couldn't even wear no sleeves. So imagine being out there 20, 30
Were you
degrees weather,
cold or you
wind.
you were just like the adrenaline? You were like, yeah, it's hot.
Man,
I'm
I was
good.
freezing, man. I was freezing.
Your body's
Bro,
probably
but I,
just
every time
numb
I'd
at
be
that
looking at
point.
games like that, I'm like, yo, they gotta be cold, bro. They're just
man, I be
no
freezing.
sleeves.
But after a
No.
while, I just have to, just lock in and focus on the mentality part, and then just go.
Yeah, a lot of pros be saying that they just like kind of zone out and their body just takes control at that point.
Most definitely.
Those instincts.
Yeah, that's something I ain't gonna never get used to. I don't think though.
I mean, if we could just touch a little more on the school side, could I ask what you majored in and what you're going to be graduating in within the next couple of weeks, like you said?
I'll be graduating in a bachelor's in business management, specializing in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Fire.
hmm
shit.
That boy said, "I'm gonna manage my own brand, man." Hey, kudos
Man,
to you
most-
on that,
Facts.
man.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, a lot of these, honestly, it feels like a lot of these athletes like lose sight on like the whole idea that you could actually get an education out of going to college as well.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, one thing we're seeing now is that it looks like NCAA players are potentially going to start getting paid.
At least when
Oh,
it comes
yeah.
to basketball.
Are
I saw a report of the NCAA games coming back.
yeah, well, that's what they're
You
saying
ain't
is
see
that
those
is that
videos. People gonna be at GameStop for NCAA 21. Oh my god.
as
there.
as a student athlete, how do you feel about that? I mean, if you're okay with us asking about that, as far as athletes deserving to get paid for the likeliness of their name, have you ever seen anybody who was bigger than what they were seeing or anything like that?
Honestly, I agree on it 100%. Just going back with the work that we put in, and then the amount of fans that we bring to the program and stuff like that. Just not even football, all sports as well. And just the time that we have to put in and the sacrifice that we're putting on our bodies on the line, everything. And honestly, I 100% agree that college athletes should be paid.
Yeah, I think the athletes definitely deserve a check.
Bro, they be going through it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They could get, they're playing there. Yo, they could get injured, some crazy injury or something
And
like that.
and
God
don't get
forbid.
me
Most
wrong,
definitely.
like tuition, yeah, of course it's a pricey thing. Like it's $40,000 to $50,000 at some schools
Uh-huh.
more, but that's not like money that's going to help you survive while you're going through those 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, at the bigger program schools, that 40-50,000 is nowhere near what they bring to like the audience in the stands and stuff like that when it's packed on game day. Just think about like Alabama and LSU
Well,
and
schools
stuff
like
like
Ohio
that.
State, where their stadium could seat over 100,000
Bro,
people.
those
Exactly,
stadiums are
exactly.
crazy.
And you're filling out the stands each and every week and stuff like that. So it's like
And some of those
they
tickets are
definitely deserve.
bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can only imagine how much like on the 50-yard line at like Ohio State, how much that would probably be. You're probably
Yeah.
dropping at least 1,000,
Most definitely.
right?
Yeah,
You should
most
see the
definitely.
look on Trill's face right now. He's disgusted, livid.
You want to go to FSU game? That's where you want to go.
Exactly. But it's just crazy because I feel like at the end of the day, all athletes, no matter what sport, they all bring
Mhm.
money into the school. They all bring
Exactly.
fans in, no matter if it's
Mhm.
big or small. They're all
Most
producing
definitely.
money. And
Mhm.
it's like, at the end of the day, if you can't compensate these kids, then the alumni is going to find some way to compensate these kids. And that's why I have
Mhm.
no
Facts.
problem with what they call a bag man in these situations. Because
Mhm.
at this time, bruh, it's necessary. You bringing these
Most definitely.
kids out of like, let's just keep it 100, not the best situations, and they're
Mhm.
coming into the biggest national powerhouse in the nation.
Yeah, especially in
Mhm.
South Florida. They come down to South Florida. They're going to places like Pompano and they're going to Miami
Yeah.
They're
Gardens and
plucking
places like
these
that.
kids.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
It's wild. And then, it's like they're able to sway you with the idea that like, hey, like we could bring you somewhere better and like that's cool, but it's also the idea of like, hey, what am I worth to the school? Am I
Basically,
just
like
worth the
using them.
tuition?
They're athletes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, should be paid 100%.
Most definitely.
That's wild.
Most definitely.
I just wanted to ask this question because I feel like with the recent developments in the NBA with the G League and the situations of high school players committing there, do you ever feel like the NFL can start to move in a situation like that where they X out the NCAA and have a developmental program strictly for the NFL to produce these players as well?
I think so. Cause like a lot of players when they go into the NFL and stuff like that, sometimes man, just because it's a big business and stuff like that, it's like a one shot opportunity thing. And if they're not prepared for it or whatever like that, or they didn't show all the assets that they can bring to the table and stuff like that, they may not never get another chance. You feel me? So I feel like it'll be kind of good if the NFL can do something like that to prepare the players and bring them up like that, and then bring them into the NFL and stuff like that. So if they had a D League for the NFL, that'd be great.
Because I feel like the only problem would be you don't want to send people strictly from high school straight to the NFL. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, they may be talented, but they're not built enough.
They not no, not from high school. Most definitely.
Nah, yo, it's not like basketball. Yo.
Exactly.
It's
Like
not
you
like
can get away
basketball.
with it in
Like
basketball.
Yeah.
Emily Bates could
Yeah.
come out right now and he'll be good.
I mean, look
But-
at how LeBron did. LeBron was already 6'8", 6'9", coming right out of high school.
Nah, football's
Yeah.
a different
Kid was already
animal.
240 pounds coming out of high school, like just ready to go.
Goat shit.
Yeah.
Football, it's definitely a little different. I feel like there's a process in football where the player definitely needs that moment to mature and realize like, this is a team game, because a lot of these like football stars that come out of these like high schools and stuff, they're probably the only star on that team, and they're just so fucking good. They make the team look incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see all these crazy stories about like, I mean, obviously the most recent one is probably the Aaron Hernandez documentary when it came out, and how they were talking about how his school before he went there never went to like a state championship or anything like that, and when he was on the team, like they won
Throwing
everything.
it to him.
Yeah,
Every
they were just
play.
like,
Yeah.
just throw it to Aaron. Aaron's gonna catch it.
Every play.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I want to talk about you went back-to-back seasons with 1,000 yards. I'm a numbers guy, so you got to talk to me throughout that season like you know what you're doing. Like you going in, they can't stop you.
Yeah. Honestly, it started my junior year. I had like 4 or 500-yard like straight games and stuff like that. The first 4 or 5 games, and I always set out like for that to be one of my goals, like 1,000 yards rushing and stuff like that. So once I hit that 5, 6 game mark, when I had like 100 yards in the road games and stuff like that, I was like, dang, I can actually get this goal. You feel me? Because it hadn't been done at my school since I believe 2009. So it was almost over a decade that we haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. So once I hit that point, I was like, man, I can actually do this. And then from there, I was like, man, it ain't nothing stopping me from getting this 1,000. You feel me? And then so it just kind of went like that. And then senior year, same thing. Uh, I missed 2 games because of elbow injury and stuff like that. So I had to get right back on track where I was at, and I still got that 1,000 yards in the 10 games that I played.
Sheesh.
Now, I know you mentioned earlier that you started both junior and senior year. Do you feel like
Yes,
you
sir.
could have both produced these 1,000-yard seasons in freshman and sophomore year if you started as well?
Nope. And I feel like I like we was going back to the process thing. Probably my sophomore year, but I mean, who I don't know, but definitely not my freshman year, just because I had to learn and progress still more as a football player, honestly. And
And you were fifth in
honestly, I
conference
think
with all-purpose yards. So that shout out to you your
yeah,
freshman year.
yeah,
So it's like you can't. You're like I can do it. I can do it right now.
yeah. Yeah, but no, I think I still needed to like get those couple years under my belt and stuff like that. A lot of those opportunities that I had freshman year, they were putting me out in space already and stuff like that. And then it's a difference running between the tackles and stuff like that every play. So it was more of a jet sweep and kick return, punt return and stuff like that my freshman year. So I needed those couple years to get under my belt.
Totally understand that. And I was just
Mhm.
also looking into the numbers and seeing as how you finished 11th in school history and receptions, but at running back.
Uh-huh.
S-
That's
Does
just
how
being
will that translate to the NFL? Do you see yourself playing one of those wing/positions where you're a cross between running back and receiver?
Yeah, because
How
look at
they-
McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the highest
Yeah.
paid running back in history, and now because of the
When
fact
you're
that he
in the
could
league,
catch and
I'm
run.
going to draft you in fantasy. We're
Most
gonna win some
definitely,
money.
man.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I just try to like add a little like be as more versatile as I can be, just with the turning, running, catching, blocking and stuff like that. So finishing 11th in school history, that's insane. I honestly didn't think about it until it happened. I found out that day, but that's insane. And I also think that'll carry on to the NFL because you can use me more. You can swing me out the backfield, you can line me up at slot, you can do all types of stuff with me. So I just want to add that versatility to my game.
Talking about returning, your second year you had 693 yards on returns. What is that
Mhm.
like? Because you got people coming at you, and you just like that's a lot of yards when you think about it for a returner in one
Man,
season.
that's just taking advantage of every opportunity. Honestly, my freshman year, like I said, I ain't started on offense, and they used me here and there. So every time I got back there, I felt as if that was the first play on offense. I got my opportunity to have the ball in my hands and do something with it. So
Facts.
every time I was back there, I just tried to do something with it, try to take it to the house.
If you could you just break down one of the more, I think, underrated processes in football, which is being a punt returner and having to keep your
Mm.
eye on the gunner, keep your eye on the ball,
That's
keep
what
your
I'm
eye on the
saying.
gunners,
You
keep
guys
your eye
like
on the
you gotta
ball.
just
That
there's so much shit.
that is the toughest position besides like being like a DB and stuff like that, having to guard somebody. I believe punt returner is one of the toughest positions on the field. Uh, it's really like a timing thing. Like they set you about 40, 45 yards, and as soon as the ball kick, you gotta locate the ball. You gotta keep your eyes on the gunner. You gotta look at the protection that you have, and you gotta have the instinct to decide. Okay, am I gonna fair catch it? Am I gonna run it and catch it and try to do something with it and stuff like that, or am I gonna let it go if it's too? It's a lot going on back there. If it's too short, you gotta call poison so it don't hit one of your players. Man, it's like being a quarterback on the punt return team, honestly.
And my question is, do they pre-coach you as the punt returner going into each punt, basically? So do the coaches tell you, all right, in this situation, we want you to fair catch this no matter what?
hmm Sometimes, but once you get to that role on the team to where like they trust you and stuff like that, they'll trust you with the situation and stuff like that. The only time that they honestly make us fair catch or anything like that is when we're backed up. Like their offense is on our 45 or something going in, and it's a situation like that. Then they'll want us to fair catch or let it just go in the end zone and stuff like that. But if any other situation, it's kind of free for hand. It's free for all. Like you make the decision and make the best decision for the team.
Understandable.
hmm
Throughout this whole process, what's been the most difficult thing for you, I would say, besides you said the timing earlier, just waiting on your own time, but how's the contact been with teams? What have the talks been like, basically?
Basically just getting all my information and stuff like that. And before draft day, I talked to probably about 5 or 6 NFL teams, just making sure they had the right information, making sure I was healthy and stuff like that. And right now, the toughest part about it is just like the waiting game. And then especially like with the virus going on and stuff like that, it's some stuff that's out of my control right now. So honestly, just putting it all my trust in God and just controlling what I can control. Still working out every day, taking care of my body, stuff like that, eating right and all that, and just being prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually for the opportunity that's gonna come.
Did you have any draft day rituals?
No, not really. I just came. I was at my grandma's house and stuff, and I was just with family. That's a big part of my process as well. Like my family being by my side, so I just wanted to be around them. And it really wasn't no ritual. It's just that's the normal for me.
Okay, and you were down here?
Yeah, I was in Florida.
Nice, nice. Coming back home. All right, that's always good.
Most
But I
definitely.
I feel like there's one thing we all gotta talk about. So we talked about the first 2 episodes last week. All right, and I think the hype topic right now has been The Last Dance. Have you been watching The Last Dance?
No, I haven't.
Oh no, you haven't yet.
Mm.
Oh,
No, I haven't. I haven't.
oh, we were hyped. We thought you've been watching it or
Phil
something.
Jackson, a legend. That boy took
Yeah, I
acid
ain't.
and he saw the triangle offense.
I
And he
think the
started.
only episode I watched was that first episode, man. Every Sunday I be having homework, so I be getting my homework in and missing the episodes. I gotta catch up though.
That man preparing to get his degree. Hey man, shout out to you though. Regardless, man, you working hard. You know whether it's to the league or with the degree, and you move on with business, whatever the case is, man. Hey, you're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
kill it.
most definitely, absolutely appreciate it.
You already know.
Mhm.
But let's jump on into it though. Last Dance. We had
Uh,
episodes 3 and 4.
Did
You
you
were
see it?
you were partially bringing it
Did
up.
you see it, Winston?
Oh, I mean, of course, I've seen it. It was just, to me, more enlightening. It showed me a lot more about all the other characters: Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson went to, I forgot what part of the world he went to and coached. The mayor,
He went to Puerto Rico.
the mayor shot
The referee
the
and the
ref,
knee.
and all he got was like he got.
They
banned
just told
from-
him just don't come to the home games no more.
Bro,
that was
that's
his
how
punishment.
Bro, he was just out there coaching there, just going there. Like, oh, I'm gonna come to the U.S. and do the triangle offense. They literally talked about him taking acid because he was gonna like, bro, he does like, what does he do when he was on the Bulls with that ritual?
He's
Like
big
Native
on he's
American?
big on Native American history, and he's big on things like yoga and like being at one with yourself. So like he was like all about like
They all got
mind,
into
body,
their
and
best
soul
tunes,
connection.
bro, and just went crazy.
Yeah, they showed like the videos of him like stretching around and like the whole team following him, and it just seemed like a giant yoga session, which was cool. I think the real highlight of these 2 episodes though was Rodman. I mean, you got to actually see about Dennis Rodman though, and like I loved how he said he's like we all think of Dennis Rodman as like this negative person, and like we don't really know anything about him. And then when you like look at his upbringing, like he hustled from being homeless and jumping couch to couch and sleeping in his friends' backyards to earning a fucking degree. Like not a degree, but like a scholarship, a free ride to a
He
college.
played basketball, won championships, and he wrestled Karl Malone.
Yep. He was on the Bad Boy Pistons and then went from the Bad Boy Pistons to the Bulls and won fucking 3 more rings.
Yeah, 5 in total. Just like, I'm just going to rebound. But he had some crazy games in Detroit. But then he went to Chicago. Michael's like, bro, rebounds. Like, I got you.
The biggest thing that I've taken away from like this whole series is just that sports fans kind of in general take things for granted. Like we don't understand what greatness is in front of us until it's over. So for instance with Kobe, LeBron, Michael, anybody that I can name, Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, anybody of that nature, nobody's going to fully respect them until their career is done. And when you can really fully look back on it. And I just feel like as sports fans, we take things for granted at this point. Like we don't appreciate what we're seeing in front of us.
Yeah, I
We
love how
always wanna
people are starting to
criticize it.
love like Scottie Pippen and love Dennis Rodman. Like I love
I
how
always
now
fuck with
they're actually
Scottie.
looking at them as a big 3 versus like, oh, well, Michael Jordan did everything.
Finally.
Yeah,
He
like,
had to.
like now people are actually throwing Scottie Pippen in their top 5s. People are actually talking about Dennis Rodman being probably the best, if not one of the best rebounders in NBA history. You know?
No doubt, no doubt. And I just kind of wanted to spin this back to you, DJ. Was there anything that you took for granted during this whole football process?
Nah, man, 'cause honestly, watching my older brother, like I said, he was always the my motivator, my leader, and stuff like that. I felt like watching or seeing that when football was taken away from him, like he didn't have no more eligibility. He didn't have the chance to go to the NFL, CFL, or have football at that next level like he always dreamed to. I kind of took that and ran with it and was like, I won't have no regrets when I finish this thing. And like I'm gonna lay it all out on the line and control everything I can control, and whatever situation or whatever come out of it or whatever like that, I'm gonna be fine with it because I put my all into it.
That's real.
Facts.
Y'all got anything else?
We do.
We do.
Got the,
Okay.
bro, we ask him. We got to talk about the video games. That's our non-sport topic.
Oh, I mean,
You got to go.
our non-sport topic for the week, DJ, and you probably going to have to go off the top of your head. Our top 5 video games of all time, and I was just going to jump right into it just because I'm a big video game person at the end of the day. Coming in at number 5, any Grand Theft Auto. At the end of the
Anyone?
day, any of them. Like,
Yeah.
it don't matter if it's San Andreas,
Yeah.
GTA 4, GTA
Vice City.
5, Vice City, it don't matter. Like I can just
Mhm.
play it all the time. It doesn't matter. Now, coming in at an underrated number 4, and I feel like it's either going to get some hate or some love. I was a huge WWE SmackDown versus Raw fan.
I ain't gonna lie,
2007.
you got love from me because I used to play that WWE too.
Like what? That story series, I was like, yo, I'm really in
I
this.
still think
Like,
Here Comes the Pain was
What?
better.
I was like,
Most
man,
definitely.
I'm really in this, and it's just dope. Like, you really get to be a wrestler. You see the storylines that they build for him, all those things. I'm like, yeah, this is making me
Most
love the
definitely.
WWE anymore. Number 3, and I mean, it's just because it's not really in stores right now, going back all the way till 2014. But if NCAA came out right now, I'd stop this episode and go to the store, because
Most definitely.
it don't even matter at this point. Like NCAA, I played online dynasties, played online ranked
Mhm.
games. It don't matter. I can sit
Yeah.
down 24/7, just play that game all day.
Most
And the
definitely.
fact that we now know people who are on those games even makes it wilder.
Yeah.
You'd
Most
be like,
definitely.
oh, I know him. And he just-
Exactly. Like, that's my homie right there.
He's at 140 yards. Okay, lit. You gotta go text him, let him know what happened.
Coming in at number 2, 2K. It's real simple. I've always been a huge 2K fan, and recently, I mean, those games have been trash. I can't lie. 2K20, 2K19, they ain't been up to the hype. But if you
Mhm.
go back to when 2K first got in its prime, 2K11, 2K12, 2K13, when they was
Yeah.
putting Kobe on the cover, Jordan on the cover, all those people, I was like, yeah, I could do this. I could play this online franchises. It don't matter.
The one with Jordan on the cover was by far the best one.
Nah, the
Exact-
one 2K13.
When
with
they had 3
LeBron.
people on the cover with KD,
2K13.
I mean not
KD.
KD, with Curry, AD, and James Harden. That was
Mhm.
amazing.
The one with LeBron on it that he's like that.
Exactly, bro. Even 2K14, but
Fire.
overall, number one, we still do this to this day. Madden, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what we talking about?
Definitely.
Madden leagues, Madden franchises. You could get the hands in the play now, right now. It don't matter.
What you think the best man was?
Honestly, in my opinion,
I feel like the one with Vic on it transcended Madden into what it is.
my
Most definitely.
favorite one was just being biased. The one with Ray Lewis on the cover.
I was gonna.
That,
'Cause
that
I
was
was
fire.
like-
That was the
That
first
was-
one I ever bought. The first one I ever played
Yeah.
was like years ago. But like when I actually like first like understood the game and played it was when
That
Vic was on
changed
the
my
cover.
life.
But
I
the
was
first one
like-
I bought was the one with Ray Lewis, 05.
The first one I played was 07. Sean Alexander was a cheat code. Biggest cheat code ever. And then with Vince Young in 2008, oh, yo, he did some crazy stuff.
Most definitely.
Who's next on the list?
I'll go real quick. Number 5, MLB The Show. What I did with that game, I would get all the best players, put them on a roster, see what they could do. Win like 140,
that about that
150
MLB.
games, go crazy, bro. That and then my player in that game, I just don't have a PS4 anymore. If not, I would buy The Show. Number 4, SmackDown vs. Raw, 2007. Just creating your player,
Ooh.
putting different things, the championship, putting championship belts. I do the craziest shit
Could
ever.
you create your
Mhm.
entrance in that one as well? Because there was one where you was able to
Yes.
create your entrance, and I was just like, yo, I'm putting some straight.
Bro,
I
you-
put Waka Flocka Flame on there, some wild stuff like that, bruh. I was just like, yeah, I'm walking out to this.
Bro, that shit was too crazy.
Oh, real quick, we got Pete from the Gamble on Ginter podcast saying 2 things. Here Comes the Pain is the greatest WWE game of all time. I told you. And then second, he says Madden 15 is underrated, but that 04 is the best one ever.
Exactly, bro.
That 04 had Vic on it.
Either one, Vic or Ray Lewis, you can't
Bro,
go
you
wrong
can literally
with it.
run to the back of the end zone with Vic and still get a touchdown. You just go
Still get a touchdown.
99. That's crazy.
Most definitely.
Number 3 for me, 2K13, because I would use the Knicks roster with Carmelo, Tyson Chandler, Stott, excuse me, Landry
It's okay, they're
Fields,
forgettable.
Steve Novak, J.R. Shumpert. Melo would just go crazy. If you've missed a couple shots from Melo, you might have to just bench him. But if he hits his first 2-3 shots, he gets microwave, goes crazy. That Knicks team was just deadly. Jason Kidd.
Whatever happened to them?
It's okay.
What are the Heat doing?
Hey, they got 3 rings they're sitting
All
on.
on quarantine right now. Just
Oh,
relax,
okay.
bro.
All right, we won't get in that. Number 2, Modern Warfare 2. Just get a UMP 45 with the tactical knife and just go crazy. That game was, bro, that was literally from probably 4 years of my life just playing that game.
I can't cap. Like from the age of 12 to like 15,
That game was
I go home, turn on the Xbox. I didn't care about school.
the
Whatever
airport,
happened.
everything. Bro, that game was timeless. Everyone, bro, you could probably still go there and try to get on a server. It might take like 10 minutes though. Number 1 for me, it's low key. I just play because it's single player, but it's like, bro, it's the most fire single player game I ever played, and it's Assassin's Creed. All of them. That shit is just crazy. The whole story mode, the gameplay is fire, but like I would say the story of everything is just 10 times better. It's shit's just trippy, bro. Some guy, he's going back to his ancestors. They're all assassins. They're all linked somehow. Shit crazy. There's gators, horses, assassins, hidden knives. Shit fire.
You got your list ready yet, DJ?
Yeah, I got my list. I'm putting it together.
I'm glad I get
I ain't
to
gonna
save
lie.
mine for last.
Y'all might not like it, but I was a little NBA Live fan back in the day. Though.
Yo, NBA Live 05.
I still have the game.
Yeah,
The one
I
with
ain't
Melo
gonna lie.
on the cover. That
When
shit
they
was
brought
like
the dunk contest
when they had the
in?
dunk contest
Oh my
on it,
God.
yo.
Contest, all that.
Mad
Yeah.
underrated. People talk about 2K all
NBA
they want.
Live.
It still ain't got as lit as NBA Live 05.
So I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna put that as my number 5.
That's not bad.
And number 4, I'm gonna go WWE SmackDown first Raw, the 2007 one. Then I'm gonna go GTA. Then I'm gonna go then I'm gonna put 2K, and then I gotta finish with Madden. Madden 04, best thing, that's hands down.
Remember the
Madden
Madden leagues?
04.
Madden leagues go
Yeah.
crazy. We would play like
Man.
5, 6, 7 year Madden leagues, and then we would be like one night we'll just be like redraft. We all agree to redraft
Yeah,
right there
most
up
definitely.
until 4 or 5 in the morning. See some when you get the guy with the superstar trait, you like, oh yeah, that's trade bait, or he's gonna be 97 after you see a year.
You know it's Madden when people turn Terrell Pryor into MVP.
You know
winning
it's Madden when
quarterbacks.
we have a friend that literally hacked, not even hacked, he just sabotaged. He was making the computer lose and drafting for their picks. So when the draft would come, he'd in the top 10, he'd have 5 first rounders, and every year he has the best team. He's like, yeah, they just suck. I know what I'm doing. Drew caught him. He's like, Shaw, why is there force loss? I don't know what you're talking about. He got so mad. He started to play victim. It's like, bro, you're cheating the whole time. But you can do some crazy stuff in Madden.
All right. My list. So at number 5, I'm coming in with 007 Agent Under Fire on PS2 with the photon cannons and shit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yo,
right
and you
there.
had the fucking claws, the fucking wires that you could shoot out. So you could fly out and around. Everybody flying around like they're fucking Spider-Man.
You just hear it sound crazy.
All right,
man.
so 007 Agent Under Fire. I'm going with that. Number 4, I'm going with Counter-Strike Source. Okay, y'all don't know about that like that, but that game took up about 4 years of my life. How you were saying that with you? No, that was 4 years of my life where I would go to this place right down the street, and everybody could pay to go play with each other in like a local area.
I know what
Shit,
you're
was
talking
dumb,
about.
Weird
I would-
stuff is that.
It was called
bruh?
Outland. Yeah, it was
I
this
would
place
go-
called Outland.
I would play
You could
Counter-Strike.
go-
I would
hey,
play Counter-Strike. That shit was
You would
lit.
pay $20 for the whole day or some shit like that. You pay $20 for the
And
whole
just
day
play with
all
strangers?
no, all your friends. You bring all your fucking
Bro,
friends
you
there.
just bring them. There's computers. You just line up. I was playing
Yeah.
Counter-Strike. I was like, just
Yo,
going
and
We
you
can't
in.
do this at home though.
I guess they didn't.
Bro,
have it.
back then you're talking about like 2006, 2007. Back then, you know how much it was to build a computer that could run like that? It was a
Counter-Strike
lot.
was crazy.
It was
That
a lot. You're
Modern
talking
Warfare
about
before Modern Warfare.
So Counter-Strike Source
Still
goes at
going.
number 4 for me. Number 3, I'm putting Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it has to go on anybody's list. Okay. Number 2, I have to go with. Damn, I just had it on the top of my head. I can't think of it. I guess at that point, number 2. Honestly, number 2, I'm going with this Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think this is honestly the best Call of Duty that's ever come out.
Okay, that was.
It's a bold statement, sir.
Yeah,
That
that's
is a bold statement, but
crazy.
honestly, when we look at it 10 years from now, I bet you a lot of people say they're gonna miss this shit. Think
Nah,
about
bruh.
how much different
Warzone gives you PTSD. You're really in war because
Yo,
it is
I get
so
anxiety.
quiet.
You play
Yo,
one battle royal solo,
I
you
played
got
Battle Royale
anxiety.
with him. I ran into a building in my parachute. He's like, "Chloe, you scared the fuck out of me, bro. What? Jesus, what's wrong with you?"
Yo, I'd be
Bro,
feeling
he
like
starts shooting. I'm like, "Bro, you gonna give us away, bro? You think if I wasn't an enemy, I wouldn't just start, like, I would have shot you. I would have kicked
Hey.
into you or some shit."
there's some
some
people that
ninja
be
shit.
doing that shit. But that's why talk to your teammates. It's key. All right, but number 1, WWE SmackDown. Here comes the pain.
The one on PS2, right?
PS2 with
With
Brock
the specials,
Lesnar
you
on
get
the
the
cover.
specials. Yeah, that shit's
That
crazy.
was the wrestling
That
game
was.
that transcended all the wrestling games because like that one was the first one with the elimination chamber. That one was like the first time the graphics actually looked realistic. It didn't look like some boxy ass pentagon head ass motherfucking character.
Mhm.
All right, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was by far the greatest wrestling game to ever come out. Fight me.
That shit is crazy. That boy's wild. Hey, another game is low key. Pokemon Coliseum.
Any
guys
Pokemon
didn't play
game
that
on
game?
Game Boy is low key.
Yeah, Pokemon definitely is in the top 10, but it's not top 5 for me. I think it transcended gaming in the sense that yeah, obviously everybody hopped on Game Boy and gaming was just different from there on out.
Nintendo 64. That shit was classic.
Yeah.
But if we talking Nintendo 64, then we talking Mario.
Oh,
Come on now.
also I want to
Yeah,
say
Mario
my
is-
number
They
6
had a
was
baseball game for there too. That shit was crazy.
Ken Griffey Baseball. That was my number 6. I
That's
was going to
on
say it was really hard for me to put Ken Griffey Baseball outside of my top
They
5.
had a Nintendo 64 baseball game. You had like a little yellow power box, and if you get it, like if the ball hits the corner of it, it's home run every time.
Ken Griffey Baseball.
I tried to
Crazy.
play Madden once on Nintendo 64. It was the most disappointing experience in my life. It was
That's
the
how I found
hardest
out
thing
about
ever.
Madden. That's how I found out about Madden was on N64.
I was just like, how am I
Mhm.
supposed to move right now? This controller isn't made for this.
Hey man, in these times, in these crazy quarantine times, it's good that we got like video games though to keep us sane.
MLB
For
The
real.
Show, I think it was 2005 with Eric Chavez on it. 5. I
Oh,
played
stop
that, I
it.
played that
MLB
once. It was crazy.
2K8 with the card teams. Bruh, hey, just listen. There was a time in my life where I would go home straight after middle school. I was in 6th or 7th grade. I'd look my parents in the face and be like, yeah, I got homework. Go straight into the room, turn the Xbox on, buy some packs, knowing I'm charging their card. And it's just like, bruh, what am I doing? I know it's the wrong
It,
thing.
it was my team before my team.
Felt so right.
It felt so right. but it was so wrong.
Hey man, I'm telling you, in these crazy times, we gotta be thankful for things to keep us sane, like these video games. I know a lot of people say they're bad, but honestly, at the same time, like I feel like it's something to like.
They're not bad. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Everybody is doing something during this quarantine to keep them sane, whether it's smoking weed, drinking, playing video games, Netflix. It don't matter. Everybody's doing something that they're not really used to doing, or that they're used to doing, but not in the same quantity that they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's got their own thing. At the end of the day, we all got our own fixes.
Yeah. We got anything else on the menu?
That's it.
Hey, DJ, we appreciate you sliding through, bro, man. We wish you all the best. You know, many blessings your way, and we'll be looking out for you.
We gonna stay in contact, bro.
As
Just
Oh, yeah,
always.
most definitely. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Let the people know where they can find you on social media.
Nueve_era on Instagram and Twitter.
Shout out to you, bro. Okay, take care, man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Florida. Shout out DJ Davis.
Broward Boys, NBF
Broward.
_Chloe,
Shout out-
NBF _Trill, NBF _podcast, Twitter, Instagram, streaming services, nothing but facts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, only a mono.
Save the best for last.
Gang.
Y'all be
Yeah,
easy.
You're wild.